Guardians, what's going on, guys? Your dude Sly here, back at it once again with some more of that Destiny 2 goodness for you, and man, do we have a ton of stuff to talk about. The reveal stream was earlier today, and by the time you watch this, it'll be up on my channel if you missed it. I definitely recommend watching the reveal stream before you watch this video. However, I'm going to be going over everything mentioned in the stream, so it's not like you're going to miss out on anything big, except for some developer commentary, which in itself is always a good thing to watch. But in any case, I walked away from this stream feeling pretty damn good, guys. It seems they are taking way more player consideration and advice from the community than they have in the days past, which now isn't always a good thing. However, in this case, I think it's desperately needed. D2 needs a bit of excitement, and at least to me, what I saw here gave me a huge Destiny 1 vibe, which is always great. Anyways, lots to talk about, so let's go ahead and step right up. Now, first, if you're the kind of gamer that wants a spoiler-free breakdown, this is not going to be the place, guys. I'm going to talk about everything they went over in the reveal stream. Now, they didn't go over much, so you don't have to worry too much about it. And also, zero information about the campaign or the raid. But they did dig into the new game mode pretty deep. So first things first, Warmind debuts on May 8th, as if you didn't already know that, but it comes with 2 new strikes, 2 new PvP maps, Meltdown and Solitude, a new raid layer, a new destination, a new game mode, and of course tons of weapons, armor, and a slew of exotic weapon updates. If you head over to the Destiny website, not Bungie.net, but the actual Destiny the game website, it shows the names of the 2 new strikes. Those are the Will of Thousands and one with Nokris, Strange Terrain. He's kind of like an Oryx lookalike that's going to be deep into this campaign. Now that's one thing about this DLC. You can tell they reused a bunch of content from the days past, all the way from enemies to weapons, armor styles, bosses, etc. However, there are some new things present here, and I know it's all to extend content, but well, we'll just have to see how far all this old stuff goes before I finally make up my mind on it. Anyway, the name to the new raid layer has also been discovered. It's called Spire of Stars. And since we went down into the belly of the Leviathan within the last raid layer, looks like we're climbing up the large tower on the Leviathan for this new one. So definitely stoked about that one, and I can't wait to see in which direction they take us. Finally, the new enemy we're facing, guys. Sadly, so far, no frames in sight. We're heading back to the Hive. Now, that doesn't mean Rasputin won't have any surprises cooking up for us, but as of right now, we're fighting pretty much Icy Hive. Grasp of Nokris is the new Hive faction name. And within one of Mars's poles, Hellas Basin, lies the birthplace of Rasputin and the company called Clovis Bray, which you guys from D1 probably remember it. They also invented Rasputin, so you probably know that from the lore as well. Anyways, long ago, the polar ice caps on Mars engulfed the entire site, pretty much sealing everything in like a time capsule. But now, with Rasputin waking up, it has melted the ice cap and freed the Capture Hive faction. Now, pretty much everything's coming to life. Now, when you think of Clovis Bray, Anna Bray also comes to mind, and she's going to be our guide for much of this DLC. She'll also be a vendor as well. So, first things first, let's start off by checking out a little bit of Anna Bray.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past. That's the rule. But I'm not good with rules. Not when there's this much at stake. The Clovis Bray tech in that building allowed us to colonize the system during the Golden Age. They, sought to create peace for all humanity. Which is ironic, because they also built Rasputin, the single most powerful weapon in the solar system. Either way, it's all been entombed on Mars since the collapse, along with something far more terrifying.
Now, if anyone knows the secrets of Rasputin, it's going to be Anna Bray, so I'm definitely excited to see what kind of stories we get to go through with her as our companion. Now, one thing Bungie did not go over is the size of this new area. Maybe some other YouTubers know a little bit about it, but I have no idea. They pretty much only stayed on this one side the entire time. So it looks to me that this new area is going to be halfway large from the looks of it, but we didn't get to see all that much of it, unfortunately. Now, one thing I was able to find out from all of this is that Anna Bray will be our vendor throughout the campaign. And just like the followers of Osiris setting up shop in the lighthouse, Anna Bray will have her own spot somewhere within this new destination on Mars. Now, I'm not exactly sure where on Mars, but it's definitely going to be somewhere within the Braytech building. So once again, we'll have a sort of social space connected to the map like we had with the Osiris DLC. Alright guys, so starting off, let's get to this new mode. Now, from what I've been told, this new mode is not the game mode the members of the Destiny Community Summit were playing and giving feedback on. That game mode is coming in September. Now, they did get to play this game mode while they were there, and some minor tweaks have been added to make it a little bit harder. Hive Escalation Protocol is a ritualized public event, so it's not really a special mode you have to fly into or select on the director like Prison of Elders. It's more like an open space event, kind of like, the Iron Forge or Court of Oryx. It's in the open world, and you can join up with others that have started it, or you can start it yourself. Now, the way it's been explained is that this new event is eerily similar to the Forge and Rise of Iron. However, it drops event-exclusive loot and some awesome looking guns that will drastically help you out in the later stages of this event. Now, it's been tuned to be a pretty challenging experience, or so we've been told. This event features the new Hive faction, which has some new tricks up its sleeve as well, like a knight with a shield and a sword, acolytes with line rifles, new witch abilities, and dressed up ogres everywhere. Now, if you watched my video yesterday, I did get some things wrong. Number one, this is not a new exotic sword, but it's similar to the axe or sword from those events in Rise of Iron or the Dark Below. It's an item you can grab and use within this game mode. It's also limited use, so even though it's super powerful, you can only use it a certain number of times, and the devs recommend using it strategically because if you're not equipped at the later stages of this event, then this weapon, known as the Valkyrie, will undoubtedly help you turn the tide at the right moment. So unfortunately guys, not a new exotic sword, it's a public event weapon, and how you get it is by collecting these consumables that drop from events out in the open world, just like the one we're in now. They're called armory codes. You spend these armory codes, I'm assuming at the armory, to buy the use of the Valkyrie. And all the armory is like this little station that glows on the floor. You go there, spend them, pick up the Valkyrie, and then go to town. Now, speaking of swords, the Hive sword from the ages past is also making a comeback as a fan favorite. I mean, who doesn't like the sword, right? But other than that, my guesstimates were pretty spot on. You start these pillars to engage Rasputin to help you corral the Hive towards these pillars. The goal is to just kill them all before time expires, and of course each wave gets increasingly harder. There are 4 waves per level and 7 levels total. Now there will be a weekly boss rotating within this new mode, and certain bosses can drop specific gear that will only be available and can only drop when that boss is up in rotation. There are 5 bosses total, 1 per week, so if you miss an item, you're going to have to wait an entire month to try and get it again. So they're definitely aiming at bringing players back and try to keep them playing month after month. Now, each of these antenna will attract and release Hive. There seem to be a few all around this area. So after you clear one antenna, another will pop up. You then have to move over to it and begin to wipe out some Hive again. Of course, when you make it to the final square in that level, which you can see here, it has a skull in it, you're going to be facing a sort of boss for that level. Now, one thing that's important to note is that this is not just a simple run-of-the-mill horde mode style. There will be some mechanics to overcome, such as what you see here. If you don't step into the Shadow Rift and destroy the crystals in time, the Hive can run away, and of course that means you could lose. Now, there are some other ones they didn't talk about. They said they'd rather us, discover them for ourselves. They also didn't say if you could lose once or twice and still make it to the end boss, or if you have to make it through all the way unscathed. Like I said, they didn't really go into that much detail, but either way, it looks pretty exciting. So all in all, definitely looks like a fun event. Now, they did show off some of the armor, and it's very, very Siva Rise of Iron like, but what I'm really excited about are the weapons here. Now, according to the developers who helped build this game mode, some of these weapons are extremely powerful. The one they showed off the most was this shotgun here that gets a damage buff right after a melee. And you can see it absolutely melts some of these yellow bars in the gameplay. But apparently, there are some that are stronger than this. So can't wait to see what they do or where they come from. Now, as far as loot goes, chests will spawn at levels 3 and 5. But the best one with the items you really want will be at the end for beating the boss. They also said there are a ton of hidden secrets sprinkled throughout the world, and they did a lot of work trying to hide stuff for us this time. And if you slow this down a little bit, you can see something right here that players, including myself, have been begging for since D2 launched, and that's hidden collectibles. This looks similar to the music boxes we've seen on the adventure on IO, and definitely Rasputin based. So can't wait to see what's up with these. Some people think that it's going to be all lore based, other people think it's just going to be just a collectible to have, or maybe it'll lead you to the next one. We don't really know what they are yet, but collectibles are back in the game, so that in and of itself is pretty awesome. Anyways, Escalation Protocol is only accessible after the campaign, but you can help others who are in your world and who've already beaten the campaign and started it by themselves. Also, as you can see here, sparrows are brought back, and so that might be an indication of just how big this place is going to be. Since sparrows are allowed, this gives me hopes for a pretty decent sized map. Next up, the emote wheel. We finally get a look at what's to come as part of Season 3. Now, this is an upgrade for everybody in Destiny 2, not just for the Warmind DLC. It shows what the wheel looks like and how you slot in your favorite emote. Next up, guys, let's get to PvP and some sandbox changes. Now, with Season 3 launching the same day as Warmind, private matches and PvP ranking will also debut. But first, let's talk about this PvP rank. Now, there will be two different types of PvP ranking. First will be the Valor rank, and then the second is the Glory rank. Now, Valor is for quick play, and it tracks how many matches you've been a part of and have completed in total. Losing does nothing, winning helps you move up faster. Now, this is just pretty much a casual ranking system. The Glory rank, however, is what I think of when I hear of PvP ranking. You go up only if you win, you go down if you lose, but there's a twist here. Now, if you're on a winning streak, you move up twice as fast. However, if you're on a losing streak, you move down just as fast. There's also a cap to both of these, streaks, I guess you can call them, and it resets after the next win or loss. Also, Bungie is implementing a leaving early penalty, which will hit you up with a loss if you are caught leaving a game early. Now, one thing that separates Glory and Valor is that Valor can be reset multiple times. Once you reach a certain cap, you can reset it, and an emblem will track your total number of resets. That's kind of just like bragging rights on how long you've been playing in the Crucible. Now, this also does two things. Not only does it show off your PvP prowess, but there will also be weapons or loot that require a certain number of resets to unlock. Some of the items require resets, some resets in challenges, others simply challenges by themselves. Glory, on the other hand, does not have a cap, and it's tracked in real time by the emblem Shaxx gives you at the beginning of the Season 3. Also, each season from here on out, there will be a sort of holy grail type of weapon, and it's unlocked by reaching the Fabled rank within the Glory ranking system. For Season 3, it's called Redrix's Claymore. Now, it's a pulse rifle with not only Outlaw as a perk, but a new perk called Desperado. If you reload this while Outlaw is procced, it will pump up your rate of fire. Now, most weapons in Destiny, they lower your impact as soon as your rate of fire goes up. But not with this weapon or this perk. We didn't get to see a ton of gameplay using this weapon, but it does look pretty awesome. And from what we did see, I can't wait to get my hands on it. Also, according to the PvP devs, this will be one of the hardest weapons to earn in Destiny. So if you see somebody with this weapon, that means they actually sat their ass down and had to grind this out. So another good indicator of where Destiny 2 is trying to go. So as we start to wind down the reveal, we get to the large portion of the stream that's pretty much all about exotics and changes to the sandbox. Now, we have seen quite a few of them already. I'll have a detailed video about the changes we know of so far, but they really just showed all the exotic weapons that we've seen on Twitter so far, except this time in action, of course. Now, there are a few other ones like the Fighting Lion that's also seen a change, but the stream didn't do a really good job at selling it, and it's seen an ammo increase, some damage increase, an explosion buff, and how it reacts when shooting, but it still doesn't really look all that great to me. Not quite sold on the Fighting Lion just yet, but the biggest shocker was not seeing Suros in the reveal stream, which I was sure was going to pop up. Sadly, though, it did not. But nothing's wrong with waiting to check it out for myself. Like I said, I'll have another video that shows all of the exotic changes that we know of and try to get that into a little more detail. Alright guys, but before I go, a couple of old-time favorites are returning with the Warmind. So far, I've seen the Frosties, Armamentarium, Grips of Ahamkara, Sleeper Simulant, and then this bad boy right here. So let the speculation begin. But for the meantime, my favorite Destiny YouTuber, Mesa Sean, was at the summit, and he has a bunch of exclusive stuff to share with you guys. So it's definitely worth a visit to check out all of the stuff he learned while he was over there. But that is it for me, guys. There's a ton of chatter going on that we're going to start earning our weapons and armor this time around, which is something I cannot wait to experience once again. I strongly believe that this is the turning page for Destiny 2, with a full turnaround coming in September, because from what I've seen so far, I can tell that they really are truly committed to turning things around and for the better. But that's it, Guardians. As always, thank you for watching and for supporting my channel. Keep those eyes open, as I'll have more videos coming out with all the exotics we spotted so far, the changes, and if any other secrets pop up or show themselves in the reveal stream, I'll be sure to let you all know. Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and keep those eyes peeled for more videos coming out of Sly Nation in the very near future. But until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.